All right, this Hangout on Air is live. It's Alicia Stringer here, always empowering success dreams, and it's the Millionaire Mindset Hangout. And today we are going to focus on things that we gotta avoid in order to, know these 7 common mistakes and just fast track to our millions, because we have made sure that last week we went through a brainstorming list of all of those 7 things to keep our millionaire mindset, but we want to make sure that we are avoiding a few things too, and some powerful things and actions and mindset and things to put forward. So get out a notepad right now and be prepared to, because we each came up with 7 lists. You may have 7 lists right now, and if you do, just share something that you think would be a common mistake that would be that would stop you from making your millions. Just comment in the post below, see if you think of anything right now, and we're going to tell you a little bit about me and how we kind of came together. I am in here
before Alicia, a little pattern interrupt before we go into that, because quick pattern interrupt. Everybody, please, because we were having tech issues, I just want to make sure that nothing, if you can right now, as you're watching us right now, just comment, give us like a yes or a yeah or a why, something like that, if you can see and hear us. If you can see and hear us, and Greta, can you take a look in the chat and see? Everybody, if you can see and hear us, just give us a quick why or a yeah or something like that, that we know that you can actually see and hear us.
Yeah, last week I was having technical issues. I couldn't even load up my Hangout.
Folks coming saying yes, yes, whys, anything?
So out here in the middle of Nashville, it's a sunny day, and we are on spring break this week, so this has been a fun week, just totally different, getting things going. And you can smell the blooms in the air, so I know where everybody are, there's things blooming, things going, and things are moving in this this time of the year. So it's so exciting to see what's moving and grooving. So I know there's a delay also when you have the Hangouts, so we'll be checking out in just a minute if people are coming out. So go ahead and go over to Greta and tell us what's blooming in your area, Greta.
Oh, lots of kidlets running around. No blooming here though. I've got half a dozen kids. For those of you who don't know me, I live on beautiful Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada, and I was just over on the page making sure that everybody can see and hear us. So let's just see. Oh, we do. Yeah,
Shahida says.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. Okay, cool.
I do not want to butcher the beautiful name that I see on the page. I will give it a go. Shahida has said that she can see and hear us loud and clear, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for shouting out and letting us know. Yeah, we've got some a special training here for you today, so I'm super excited that you have joined us. And yeah, it's actually a gorgeous day, bright blue skies, and it's just so nice to see, the flowers blooming, as Alicia was saying, and it's just amazing to be here and to be able to be home and homeschooling my kids. And yesterday we were out in the afternoon, just midday, when everybody else is in school or at work, and playing at the park, and just to be able to have the freedom to do that is truly, truly a blessing and so amazing, and that is why we are here with you, and why we are so passionate about sharing this message with you, so that you can see what is possible for your life and your family. So Valerie is here as well.
Thank you, Greta. Valerie, I'm Valerie Jampolsky. I'm the Mom Freedompreneur from Abundance Now, and same thing. I used to be an entertainment attorney of all things, and while I was pregnant with my twins and sitting in that office surrounded by papers, I came with a powerful decision. I just decided there was just no way I wanted to be with my little ones. I wanted to be home with them, and so I moved heaven and earth, and searching for a solution to that, which I'm so excited to have connected with everybody and what it is that we do here, and be able. I knew also want to make a difference in what I communicate with people. So to be home with my kids, all this ditto to Greta, be home with my kids and do the things that I want to do and travel and make a difference, being able to actually be, able to have what I do be helping people to make a difference in their lives. And I love talking abundance. That's what I love to do. So anyways, getting into all of this, Alicia, do you want to, and by the way, if any of you have any questions, we're going to be, periodically looking in the comments. If you have a comment or a question or anything, we're going to be going back and forth and checking to see what your thoughts are, anything that we can address in the process of this to keep this interactive. And also, if you happen to be watching this on replay, post your thoughts, your comments below, because we do go back and monitor as well. And time and space, I know there's folks that, right now, and there are a lot of the folks down under, it's in the wee hours of the morning, you may be watching this at another time, okay? And if that's the case, you're here with us. Our intention is you are here with us right here, right now, and any information that comes in, any experience, any thoughts, know that our intention is that you're here with us in the present. And so your experience can be as it is in the present. So with that, get your pens and papers out and message us, because we're all interactive.
Oh, and I also wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
I also wanted to make sure that everybody knows that Keisha is with us in spirit today. Keisha is also one of our Millionaire Mindset mamas, and she is not able to be with us here today physically, but she is here with us in spirit. So if she has invited you to this hangout, do not worry. You are in good hands. We will take care of you while Keisha is out doing some family stuff. So, yeah, let's take
again, having that flexibility, which we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting out our notepads and writing down our list right now is taking action on what to avoid. Avoid these 7 common mistakes and fast track your millions. First of all, we came up with several different things, and we wanted to say number one was just to focus. We focus on way too many things, and especially if you're in network marketing or affiliate marketing and you're just in that information space, you just love all this type of information, and we want to share so much information, people get overwhelmed. Even how I talk, I sound overwhelming to so many people. I was on in a panel of women. They're like, blogging is just so too much. What is blogging? It's just simplify things. You got to really focus on one course of action. What is the meaning and stuff. So even in network marketing, we love all these different products and stuff. We love the face, or we love health products and things to make money with. And people are like, you just get in so many different deals. I don't know what you're all about. And I think that is why we need to stay focused, is our number one set. So every one of us that came up with our 7 different steps, we're like, we have to focus our mind, focus on that true goal, focus on that success stream that you're going, and not get so overwhelmed with either so many different things, so many different directions that you're doing, and so many things at one time. Follow one course of action until you're successful. So to remedy that, to avoid not getting out of the way of getting to the millions that you're wanting to get on, you need to focus on one thing. So if you're wanting to be a singer and you're wanting to be focused on becoming famous, what is going to actually get you to that goal? What relationships do you need to make to get to that goal? It doesn't matter what your goal is. You just got to focus on it and focus on driving down to it. You guys want to add some more stuff on focus on there? Because I know Valerie said there's so many different reasons and ways you can come up with focus, but I think that was a good word that we can use, that you need to stay forward to the common mistake that most people don't focus on.
Yeah. One of the things is focusing on one thing at a time until you're really good at it, right? Yeah. For those of you that do what we do, it's like focusing on one particular method of doing, if it's marketing, one thing until you're really good at it, and just following the steps, one step at a time. I like to use the analogy of the tortoise and the hare, because in our system, it's a simple system, and it's all, we say, here's the steps. Do this, then do this, then do this. Instead of going, oh, there's all this info, because there's a lot of info to gather, right? But it's one step at a time, and it's the tortoise and the hare, because the tortoise gets it done. right? The hare is like running off and all excited about this, that, and the other, and doing this, and then he ends up passing out, taking a nap, and nothing gets done. You know, it's literally just trusting one step at a time, and knowing that as you do it, next thing you know, it's done. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. I mean, you take any task, right? I mean, I think of some of the things, like one of my biggest things, I'll just say, I'm not, you know, if I ever need to, like, in organizing my place or my home, it's like, okay, first step in front of me, what do I do? One step at a time. Or for those of you that cook, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. If you've got a recipe and you're like, you take out the recipe and you literally follow it a step at a time. What's the first thing you need to do? Okay, got to preset the oven. I mean, I made a pumpkin pie last night of all crazy things. Don't ask. It was crazy. It was one of those things. And now I know why, because I can talk about this. I'm like, why am I making a pumpkin pie? My kids want pumpkin pie in the spring. It's like you take out the recipe. First you get the recipe. Then you turn the oven on. Then you get out your ingredients, right? And then you go it tells you one step at a time what to do. And next thing you know, you get yourself a pumpkin pie, right? Crazy analogy, but I'm throwing it at you.
No, that's great. I love that because it really segues into one of the ones that I thought about as well. Just following that whole recipe thing. And I don't know. Did you give the acronym for focus already?
No,
Yeah. So the acronym for focus is follow one course until successful.
Right.
So yeah, that's exactly what Valerie was just explaining, and Alicia as well. And do you guys mind if I just share, because you had talked about the whole recipe thing, I think it's just so fitting as far as, you know, what you need to do, you know, and the steps that you need to take, and how you need to follow those steps. I mean, if you take that recipe, and let's say Valerie took that recipe and she had it in front of her. Let's say she'd never made a pumpkin pie before, so she had no previous experience. And she took it and she thought, oh, well, it calls for, you know, this many cups of flour and this many eggs, but, you know, I think I'll maybe switch it up and I'll do, you know, 5 cups of flour and no eggs or whatever. I mean, there's egg substitutes and things like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
tofu, but yes.
You have to kind of follow the steps. I remember like being in home ec in school and really trying to mess around and see, you know, how much I could play around with the recipe and see if it could turn out. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, if we didn't follow the recipe, really, it didn't turn out to our favor. So that's why, you know, following the steps is so important. And, you know, there are people that go before you that are having success, you know, in whatever it is, like we were talking about, whether you want to be a musician or whatever it is your passion lies, wherever your passion lies, whatever you're going for, whatever your dream is, and you're following those successful people. So many times people delay their success because they think, oh, well, they did it this way, but I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it this way because, you know, it just, you know, and then you try all these different things, and it's okay to try new things, but I think, you know, when you're first starting out, it's really important to follow the successful leaders, or, you know, finding yourself a mentor in whatever field that you're in, and really following those steps that they're telling you to follow. And that's just so important. You can avoid so much time and heartache by really just following the steps.
And that being said, we're here. We've been giving you steps as well. So especially if you going back and watching our other Hangout before, it was just, you know, there, and we're going to be going through some steps here as well. In our system, there's steps. There's like steps of everything. Like there's like, you know, big pieces to everything. So it says a lot about you that you're here right now, because it means that you're open to learning and following steps. Honestly, you wouldn't even be here. So it actually says a lot about you that you are here. Just saying.
Exactly, because you had to follow the steps in order to get here.
Yes. Okay. All right. Moving on.
Focusing on our next step. We have we said this in several different ways, and it's kind of really how you approach things and approaching your focus. And number two, I put, you know, just how you use your words and your things you do in a different way. And I think we all said it in a different focus on how you're approaching things in your life and your mindset, because it's so powerful to change your vision of what you're looking for if you're not using the right words. And what I mean by that, I think it kind of goes through some of the training of like the NLP, kind of knowing languages and knowing that negative thoughts can come into you at any time. And so powerful to reframe your thoughts and those words, and it can just become a much more powerful vision to your focus. And I did a blog post about this on, you know, finding the exact words that you need to use. Don't use the words you don't need to use and stuff like that. And it was very powerful inside of an Inner Circle audio that I was listening to that we can go and reference anytime, using the tools that we have to keep this focus on making sure you're using your words in the right way towards your vision and focus that you need to go to. So things to the words that you need to delete is like try, maybe, but, tomorrow, can't, you know, all those negative words and negative thoughts. You have to replace those words and that mindset with, you know, I will, I can, how can I, today I will do this, and those positive words that will totally change your focus if you use these words in the right way. So I'd love to hear some of you ladies' feedback on, you know, making sure that you're leaving out that negative focus, negative mindset, to use the words in the right way.
Yeah, and this is something that it's so powerful. I mean, especially, you know, what you said about asking yourselves the right words. It's more about, it's an awareness. This is an awareness shift that there are, and a lot of us, I mean, this was actually a major thing for me when I got this, because I went through most of my life, and a lot of you may find yourself doing this too, where, you know, you go through life and something good happens around you, and you have a positive thought and a positive feeling. Something happens around you, and you have a negative thought or a negative feeling. You're in reactive mode to whatever is going on in your environment. That's one level, okay? And a lot of folks do that. And they live in reaction. And they don't even realize they're living in reaction, okay? Instead of living where you have a conscious decision that regardless of what's in your environment, you come from a positive space. And it's this additional awareness that those thoughts, and sometimes it can be something that's physically around us, or there are literally thoughts floating out there in the universe, like literally, just like there's radio waves and satellite waves and everything else, there are thought waves, and people's negative thoughts, and they could be sitting in our subconscious because we've picked them up from watching negative things on the news, which is, please stop watching the news. But those, honestly, you know, you'll find out anything that you need to know, you'll find out. The negative thoughts that come in is to have this realization that you separate. We have this incredible ability. We are, I'm going to get deep on this, but I'm just going to speak it. I've decided I'm not even going to apologize for this anymore. We are spiritual beings that have a body, okay? We are. We are this essence, this energy, and we have a body, but we are not our body. We have a mind, but we're actually not our minds, and it's this awareness. And it's a big thing, because you may start going into that path where you say, I'm going to take action. I'm going to focus on this one particular method, right? I'm going to focus on this method of marketing, whatever it is. I'm going to be doing that, and then this thought comes up going, oh, I don't know how to do this, so I never figure these things out, or I'm just, you know, this is that's techie. I don't know how to, I mean, any negative thought, right? Or even if you come across something in one of the steps, and the first time you look at it, you're like, I don't understand what they just said. And panic instead of going, you know, maybe I'll just rewind it and watch it again and go, oh, okay. You know, I mean, half the time is so much, there's all these negative thoughts that come through, and, you know, or buying into a negative story about who you are, your ability to learn, your ability to do new things, because we're all here because you wouldn't be on this Hangout if you weren't wanting to have a different experience in your life, right? That's why. Millionaire Mindset Hangout, so we have a different result in our lives. So all of this, there's going to be that growth pattern, and there's going to be, the thoughts are going to come up, because you wouldn't have the situation that you want to fix unless you were thinking negative thoughts and literally manifested that reality in front of you. And I just threw a mouthful at you. You were thinking negative thoughts, and you were projecting. I mean, I know I did this. When I project a worst case scenario, which is what worrying is, when you worry about the future, right? You're projecting a worst case scenario, but when you think about positive things in the future, right? I'm you know, of having, but experience it in the now, right? I have more money than I have more money than I possibly could need to pay all my bills, right? I'm easily in success. I mean, I'm helping all kinds of people. I'm living this life that I want to live, right? I mean, you experience it in the now, and then you can ask yourself, how can I? I've got these steps in front of me. How can I? How can I make this happen? How can I solve this problem, right? I mean, right before this, we were having tech issues. Alicia was having something with her mic. She sat down. She's like, she knows, I can do this. Okay, how can I? How can I figure this out? And she figured it out, right? And then we went on and we made sure you guys could hear us, right? We took steps. So it's like, but we could have panicked and said, oh, what's this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, we don't have a hangout. We're not even here with you, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, just giving like a real life example, stuff always comes up. And Alicia is amazing. And stuff happens, right? She's brilliant. Stuff happens. Stuff is always going to happen around you. And the point is it's this concept of looking at the thoughts that come across. And one of the biggest mistakes that people do is they buy into those thoughts and believe that they are real. They believe they create an identity. You create an identity of yourself. I am this person that doesn't learn. I am this person that instead of I learn things easily, I'm excited, right? Reframing. But the only way you can do that, it's not like just changing the words. It's having this conscious awareness that you really aren't those things, that they're not real, that you're just buying into it. The reality is, you are brilliant. You are absolute wisdom. You are compassion. You have abundance. All of this, it is all yours right here, right now. It is the birthright of everyone. I believe it's the birthright of everyone because we are all connected to the same reality. Reality with a capital R, of this incredible, brilliant love intelligence of the universe, of everything in abundance, and we have it. It's already ours before we even ask. All your dreams, they're yours already. And all you got to do is unpack them and take action on them. Ask yourself that question, like Alicia said, how can I? So when these thoughts come flipping through, and you may, in reaction, I've done it too, I go down that rabbit hole and I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel yuck, what's happened? Oh, I've been worrying about the future. I've been projecting negatives into the future. The moment you're aware that you're doing that, give yourself massive credit. Go, woohoo, I figured it out. I realized I went there. Instead of don't get down on yourself, because a lot of people might get down on yourself. Instead, give yourself credit for having noticed. So first, there's that awareness, just being aware that they're not you. The next step is being conscious of it and giving yourself credit. And those are like the itty bitty steps. You want to follow steps. Those are the steps of how you go from negative thought and feeling about projecting worst case scenarios about, how you pay your bills or whatever, right? To adjusting from that and going, okay, I'm looking at that, I'm going to let that go, it's not reality, this is who I really am, giving yourself credit, which raises your vibration, by the way, which then allows you to actually, not only do you attract more to you, but it literally opens yourself up to hearing that wisdom that's within you, right? You think of anybody that's done, I'm harping on this right now because it's just so massive. I talk to so many people and I coach a lot of people, and this is one of the biggest things that comes up, because all the other steps, this is kind of a core piece. To be able to do the other steps, this piece is core.
Yeah. I remember I went through Solutions, and Tony Robbins has a great book of releasing your inner power that shares, deep down how you can focus on the solutions and really focus on the new. Going back to number one, to use number two.
Exactly. But it's having that awareness that you become aware of the fact that those thoughts and those feelings, don't identify them, because you've created a habit of buying into your negative thoughts and creating this negative personality that's not even you. This personality that's defeated before even started. There's a lot of folks that are like that. Or you start and then you stop. because you start having success, and then you get scared because you have negative thoughts in there. The reality is that you have everything. And to have that first shift of awareness. Second is to notice the thoughts. Give yourself credit for noticing the thoughts, which raises your vibration. And then the next step is asking yourself, how can I? How can, what's my next step? And listening to that inner wisdom, because you'll be in the ability to actually hear it. Because when you're in a place of buying into your negative thoughts, you can't even hear your own intuition, your own wisdom. And the actions that you take are all based around that, which then you create self-prophesizing negative situations because you're caught up in this big little spiral of stuff. Instead, stop, acknowledge, wow, I had a negative thought. Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware. That's so cool. I've separated. I'm not the thought anymore. I'm me, the real you, right? And then ask, okay, what's my next step? What's my next step? And listen. And sometimes it's right flat in front of you all the time. You're working with a system like we have, and it's like literally right there in front of you, but you couldn't even see it because you've got this swirly thing going on inside. And it's like right in front of you, right? It's right there. And then even the inner wisdom of how to take that step. Saying, whatever it is, if it's a blog or a video or a post, it's like, what do I want to post? I want to post an inspirational quote today. Which one? You ask yourself, which one? It's like, you'll get guided as to where to look. I'm going to Google this or this idea. Just little steps. Even within all the itty-bitty steps, when you stop and you separate from the negative thoughts, you allow yourself the opening to the wisdom, to the intuition of where to go within, to see the steps within systems that you have and mentors. You're able to hear the voice of mentors. You're able to hear, like, you ever read a book and you go back to the book and you see things that's like you haven't heard before. It's because you're in a different place internally. Or watch a movie and something new comes up. It's always been there. You're just in a place of availability. It's availability to receive the real stuff as opposed to guiding yourself into negative. I know I just went on a massive rant with that, but it's just so huge.
It is. I really appreciate you, sharing everything that you shared, and because I think that's such I know it's such a huge struggle for people, and I remember when I first started to eliminate those negative words and to replace them with the positive words, in the beginning it was like I didn't know how am I going to do this. I felt like how can I stop using those words, or how can I stop those thoughts. That was like my biggest thing. How can I stop them from happening? Because I had been so consumed by them for so long that was my biggest, I really felt impossible. So hearing you repeat it over and over, I know you might be listening to this right now and you just needed to hear that so much, and everything that Valerie just shared, listen to it again and again because it will help you, and she just shared exactly how you can do that, and it's so important. And it also made me think about, I never really spoke those words out loud. I don't know, maybe you've experienced that, or maybe somebody who has, somebody in your life who says things out loud, like I'm stupid, and says these types of things. That just ooh, it hurts my heart when I hear things like that. It really, really does. And just think, maybe if you are that type of, don't feel bad. I'm not saying you're a bad person for saying those things or for saying them out loud, but just be aware that, if you have kids and stuff like that, they're listening to those words, and that your words and your thoughts will become your child's thoughts and words towards themselves as well. That we're their greatest example, and and as much as that might hurt to think, oh my gosh, maybe I'm doing that to my kids, just think, what can I do now? What am I going to do now to stop that from happening? What am I going to say now so that they can start saying the right words to themselves, so that they can, have that confidence that they need? It just made me really think about that. We're all moms here on this Hangout, and it's just, our kids, that's why we're here. It's for our kids. You know, one of the main reasons. And so, yeah, that just came up for me, is just to be aware, you know, not only what you say on the inside, what you're saying on the outside, and how that affects others around you too. And sometimes that helps. Okay, maybe sometimes you're not quite at that point where you can do it for yourself, but to think of it for your kids or others that are around you, your loved ones, and how it affects them. You know, maybe you could take yourself outside of yourself and think, okay, how are my words affecting others around me, and how can I change that? You know, if you need to make some changes. So I know we just totally went crazy. It bubbled up for me, and I really needed to share it.
Yeah, no, and that's so powerful. And I just want to throw something else out, because I used to think I had to stop the thoughts, because the thing is that the thoughts are out there. They're out there in the environment. It's not so much about stopping the thoughts. It's about not buying into them, because they will cross your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, even somebody as powerful as Michael Bernard Beckwith, those of you who know him from The Secret and everything else, Agape, thoughts come across, right? It's not about stopping the thoughts, because they're out there. It's kind of like saying, you know, I'm going to stop. It would be nice if we could stop certain news stations and what they do, but it's really more about changing the channel, right?
Yeah.
You may turn on the TV and accidentally you're watching something that it's like, whoa, 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 I'm changing the channel, right? The thoughts are there, and then just go, you know what? That's not me. It's having the awareness that it's not you, instead of those thoughts being there going, oh my goodness, that's who I am. I'm not even consciously thinking, just like it got, just, what do you call it? Reflecting, like being reflex. Reflex is the word I'm looking for. Reflex. Reflex is the word. Okay, so like having a reflex reaction to thoughts where you just live in it, right? As opposed to monitoring your feelings. And one of the biggest ways to keep track on all this is you can monitor your feelings. And if all of a sudden you're feeling yuck, because some of this may be going on, you know, really subtly inside ourselves. If you're feeling yuck, chances are you've been buying into the negative thoughts, and you can just literally go, okay, stop, you know, stop, you know, and think, what thought was I thinking? You know, where was this going? And go, oh yeah, okay, not real, and then you can separate from it, right? And don't give yourself a hard time about having the thought, or even going down the little rabbit hole. Give yourself credit for coming out of it, because there would have been a time in the past where you didn't. So the thoughts will always be there. It's just a matter of how much, and eventually you just don't listen to them very much. They become really quiet thing in the background, and it's like you're not even paying attention. They don't stand much of a chance, right? You know, it's like, yeah. So, you know, off, and this is I'm focusing on what I do want. So I don't know if that helps in just a transition. I would love to see if there's anything. Just quickly go check in the chat to see if anybody has any questions or thoughts in there on any of this. Do we have anything in there? Just curious. Yeah, lots of people. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good for now, I think. Here we go.
Okay. We got 20 minutes to go, or less than that. 10 minutes to go through the rest of them. I know that's a pretty powerful one, so I'm just going to say maybe...
Start going through them. Go through them.
Pretty fast. Leading on to that, when we focus on solutions, it just makes sense not to avoid yourself from always listening to audios, listening to different books, and reading and meditating, and just doing all those little action steps that you need to do to invest in yourself, so you don't get caught in, you know, those negative thoughts. Don't get caught in that, you know, past awareness that we just talked about, and help you keep your focus more. Because when you're focused on that stuff, you need to, you know, read and study and learn more about it. And it just makes sense just to have number 3, not to avoid doing those things. And it's so easy saying, oh, I didn't read today. Oh, I didn't listen to the audio today. And you just get in a rut. If you don't put it on your routine, it just doesn't happen. So any ideas to help keep people consistently doing those, you know, just simple things that they need to do. Number 3, to take the action steps to visualize, meditate, read, listen to audios, those kind of things. Invest in themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's like, you know, on the one hand, it's the stopping, but it's like feeding. What do you feed yourself with? What do you, instead of like you change the channel, but what are you changing the channel to? So this is about changing the channel off of your negative thoughts and feelings into having another channel going as much as possible all the time. A lot of folks that are very, very successful, they frankly have audios going on almost all the time in the background of what they're doing. They utilize their time, their space with it. If they're in the car, they've got positive audios going. And it's really about making an intention of like non-negotiables. Like there's certain things you do every day. You get up, you feed yourself, you brush your teeth, you know, there's stuff that's like non-negotiables of what you do every day. And making the decision that this is part of the non-negotiables, that this is just part of what you do every day. It's setting the, you know, and setting a schedule on it. Like there's some things you know, like you have it going on in the background. You know, for me, it's like the first thing I do when I wake up, and I know this, the first thing I do when I wake up is I've got audio going. For me, it's audio. Some people it's reading, and you know, some people they can go into a meditation. For me, I need audio, and you kind of know for yourself what it is. But one of them, either a meditation or going through your outcome statement or something, I like to do audio first, and then I'll go through and read my outcome and visual and experience it in the present moment. Because then my vibration is in a higher space when I go there. Because sometimes I can wake up and not be where I want to be, and make the conscious effort that as you're going to sleep, you've got something positive going into your ears as you're sleeping, something, or you read something before you go to bed so that there's positive thoughts. Making it available to you. You know, whatever you need to do if you want to get your audios for you. Oh, the little guy just woke up. Having it so you can have it with you in the car or wherever you're running around, setting up systems for it so it becomes easier for you. I'm gonna put myself on mute because he just got up.
No problem. Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that Valerie was saying, and one of the things that I did a long time ago was I actually put all the key things that I wanted to do, my meditation, reading, listening to audios, into my Google Calendar, and I have my alarms that go off. And I don't necessarily do them right then and there, but because I see them, like I had set the schedule that I figured would work months ago, and in the end it didn't exactly work the way I had planned. You know, with half a dozen kids running around all the time, you just fit it in whenever and wherever, and you will do it. If it's important to you, you will make it happen. And I've adjusted things here and there, but because I still have them on in my Google Calendar, I still have those reminders going off. It's constantly there. I see it, I hear it, and I do it. And I've created a different schedule. I don't need the reminders, but it also helps me to think when I see it. I'm like, yeah, I'm on check. Like I'm on the right course. I'm doing what I've committed myself to do, and doing these few key things and just creating habits out of them, it will seriously change everything for you, and it'll just become automatic. You won't have to have those reminders. You won't have to think about it anymore. It will just happen for you.
True. And that's why I say it becomes a routine. You know, you got to always read, listen to your audios, and meditate. And you know, if things aren't happening, you got to do it some more. So that's why I thought that was a key thing to not avoid. You know.
Yeah, and you really don't have any excuses. Like when you're doing your laundry, put an audio on. Put an audio book on, put your favorite audio on. I loved it. Like my kids were out for a couple of hours the other day, and I was cleaning the house, and I was just like pumped up. I was listening to my psycho-cybernetics audio, and it was so great. It was just like I was accomplishing stuff, like physically getting stuff done, like cleaning my space, and feeding my mind with like all this good stuff. And I have children jumping up and down at my window, distracting me.
We'll move on so we can get done in a few minutes.
Yeah.
1 would focus. 2 was, you know, use your words wisely. 3 was study, you know, use your audios and videos and reading. And number 4, we've had so many different things, and we might just throw out a lot of different things that we had in there. And I think several of us just says, you know, overcoming that fear and power to not quit. Like going back to our core why, and not blaming others to make our excuses, to really focus on why you're going to keep going, why you're emotionally involved, you're financially involved, you made that commitment. And I was just looking at all of our list, and we've kind of said that was a powerful focus. We can't avoid our our why when we were doing this, because we've changed up. We've gone so far. We've gone the focus. We've gone the awareness. We're studying about it, and so there's really no excuse now to go back to your forgetting your why, your core reason, and that. So, any of you guys want to add another point in there?
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept of quitting too soon, it's sort of like, it's really about trusting the path, and trusting that the universe is working in your favor, right? Because a lot of things, there's a process to everything. And I'm going to give this analogy, and I'm going to give a couple analogies. One analogy is, look at our kids, right? Those of you that have kids, have ever seen a kid learn to walk? Imagine what would happen, right? If the first time a child gets up and falls down on its little bum because it's attempting to stand to walk, goes, you know what? I tried this walking thing, and it just doesn't seem to work for me, right? So, I think I'll just kind of crawl around on the floor. That's just what I'll do, because that's, right? I mean, we would never walk. None of us would walk if we gave up after the first stand up and fall down on our bum. But it's part of that process. There's this balance. I can put my arms up. Maybe I'll get some. It's like everything is a process. A rocket ship, as it's going to the moon or wherever, NASA's adjusting. It's 99% off track. It's minute little adjustments as it goes. Right? And that's the process of what we do. And any of you that understand even marketing, it's all split testing, and you're moving forward. It's like, oh, I figured this out. This is working good. Well, maybe I'll adjust over here. And it's all about moving forward. And sometimes it may seem like we're going backwards. Like I always found it very encouraging talking to extremely successful people, 7-figure earners. I mean, it's like he's always going always into the next step of the next level of what it is, and all of them have made massive mistakes in the process of what they do. They may have posted an ad that didn't work, or they posted a video or a blog post and they got no reaction, or whatever. It's like, and it's all a process of learning from it, right? And just going, listening to your instinct about what's next, and then comparing, okay, well, this worked and that didn't. What was it? What's the difference? What's working here? And just asking yourself, what's your next step? What's your next step? Because sometimes you may not even know. You may not have an idea of what it is in front of you or how to get somewhere. And it's literally just trusting and knowing that even if something seems like it's going backward, it could be part of the process of getting you to where you want to go. And I've got another analogy on this, but I'm going to pause here, come back to
you. Anything you want to add, Greta?
Alicia, I know you're on a time limit here, so I'm just let you go. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're on number 5. When you have, we talked about not wanting to quit and the focus. Did you want to finish that one, Valerie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry, little guy coming in off and on. So it's knowing, it's really being aware. Like I'll give an example. It's just a story that I heard recently that I thought was just so cool. Michael Bernard Beckwith, he was at the airport and he missed his flight because they made a mistake and they didn't notice that the gate changed. Okay, but he's always in tune with what's next. It ended up as a result of that bumping into someone that would someone they'd been needing to meet all along and couldn't connect, and then all of a sudden they're connecting, right? And then they miss another flight, and again they connect with someone they've been really wanting to. You don't know what the process is of what's happening, or the person, I've given this analogy before, the person that makes the intention to have this incredible, I want this mansion, and they're visualizing this incredible, gorgeous home that they're going to live in, and next thing you know, the home that they're in burns to the ground, right? They can say, well, I've been focusing on having a wonderful home, and now I have no home, right? Or they can go, wow, this is part of the process of getting me what I actually want. And those of you that have gone through this in the relationship side of things, you're setting intentions for a powerful relationship, and all of a sudden the one that you're in falls to pieces. Right? How many of you have been in if that other one didn't fall to pieces, you wouldn't be where you are now, right? Whether it's a good relationship or being in a good relationship with yourself. Things move, and it's all, the universe moves things in motion. So you might even be simple things like in traffic, and all of a sudden you're in traffic, and it's like, you don't know what's aligning up. But if you sit there and place a negative intention, you mess with the alignment of what's going on in the universe. The universe is in your favor, moving things in your favor, and if you focus on the negative, you start adjusting where it's going. Whereas if you trust the process and go, okay, I'm so excited, I don't know how or why, this makes no sense, but something cool's happening here. There's something good, something powerful that's coming out of this. Everything from the littlest thing like a tech issue that could turn into something incredible, like even a lesson within here. We used Alicia's issue of having tech issues with her microphone into something that might have just given somebody you watching this got a huge aha with that, right? You just don't know. You don't know. It all works in together. You don't even need to know how. You just keep trusting your instincts, following the steps. And that's where it comes in, the whole business of not quitting too soon, because you just don't know. And if you keep moving forward, you ultimately will realize that the process of what you are going through is part of what's getting you there. It's part of it. But if you stop, you're definitely not going to get there. It's the tortoise that just keeps moving forward, right? Just
move forward. We're going to move forward to the next number.
Yep.
Number 6. I think this one's pretty powerful, to have responsibility in your belief. It's strong enough to have that inner core and have that belief in you that you've gone so far in your focus, you've come so far in, being aware of those negative things that you're going to avoid. And number 3, you're studying it, you're finding those solutions, and we're reading and audios and meditation. And number 4, what we talk about just now. Consist. I don't know. But we're going to have responsibility.
Stings. Trusting the path. Trusting the path. Don't give up. Don't give up. Trust the path.
And that was number 6, right? Responsibility in your belief. And number 7, the last one, is such a powerful one that you have to do it like on an extreme level, like you're the celebrity, like you're on the top pedestal now, because you got a 10x it. You have to put it all into order. You've gone so far, and making sure that you're going to the extreme level of your action, because you're not going to get distracted and you're not going to blame each other, because you've got responsibility of your own belief now, and now you're ready to take massive action, to click the link below or whatever you need to do to make sure that you're going to avoid these things, to focus on your focus to get to the millionaire status, or whatever you're focused on, millionaire mindset, to stay strong in what you have. So last tips on these last points here, 6 and 7, of responsibility, belief, and number 7, just taking massive action. Don't underestimate the power that you have.
Yeah, I guess when it, in terms of this, in terms of belief and all of that, part of this is believing that you're worthy doing, and we skipped over this one, I think, unless I missed it when I ran off, but believing in ourselves, that to invest in ourselves, right? That you're worth it. Part of loving yourself and part of believing in your vision and part of believing in your dreams is it's believing that you deserve it. And part of that is to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself the time to do these audios. Invest in yourself the time you're doing it, and you are doing this. If you're here right now, that shows that you've got that. There's financial investment, and there's also investment in connecting, like that you deserve all this. You deserve to have this result, right? Which allows you to take the steps, which allows you to take the financial investment, which allows you to give yourself the time investment on all of these things and set up the systems. So with that, that's what that link below is about. If you're not already connected with us, to go in and allow yourself that you're worth knowing what's next. You're worth knowing. You're worth taking that step, right? So there's no accidents that you're here. So that's what that's all about. And there's no accidents of your dreams. Your dreams are not an accident. You have them. The moment you have them, they're reality. And it's just a matter of taking action on what's in front of you and listening to your instincts. And passing it on. Greta, anything to add on to that?
Absolutely. I mean, so many times we let fear and doubt and those self-limiting beliefs stop us from taking action on our dreams. And it's I feel like there's a movement in the world, and there are more. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm a part of the dreamers community or not. I don't know. I just feel like there's this surge of people taking action in their lives and really taking responsibility for their lives, and taking ownership and just doing the things that they need to do, taking the steps that they need to take. And whoever invited you to this hangout, they really, really care about you. They really care about you. And it's important to listen to those internal feelings. Listen to those dreams that you have within yourself and allow them to take flight. Just ignore those fears, ignore those doubts, because it will, I can guarantee you, it will get easier. And once you start having some success, it's just, it will start to snowball, and more things will happen. You will start to attract more and more things, more and more abundance into your life, and allow what's already happening, to appear, the reality of what is meant to be, to come into your life and come into your world. And so, yeah, I'm so excited for you that you're still here with us. That means something very important, and you really need to listen to that and listen, follow your gut instincts, be open to receive. Click that link below, get connected to whoever invited you to this hangout on the inside, because that is where the true transformation happens.
Yeah, and on that, that's so beautiful. Allow what is already happening to appear. Allow what is already happening to appear. Take instinctual action. Click below. And Greta, I love you so much. You're so cool at explaining that.
I love you too.
Alicia, you want to sign us out?
Yes, thanks, guys. So if there's anything else you guys like to add that have came and visited us today, there's something that really stuck out, please leave it in the comments. If you one point that really stuck out that you want to make sure that you start to focus on and avoiding in your life, we want to help you in any way that we can. And so connect with us any way to reach out, and we are so appreciative that you came. And like I said, we have the link below to connect with us in our community on making sure we help you get the word out in a most efficient manner as well. So connect with us next week. We have some powerful guests getting lined up, and we've got some more exciting topics to come as well. So I look forward to seeing you next week on the next Millionaire Mindset Hangout. See you guys then. Bye, guys.
Bye.